Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lai and I'm 25 years old on peritoneal dialysis, as you can see in the background. So I'm not really sure what my upload schedule is right now. I said a video a week, but yeah, it's been over a week now since I've last uploaded a video. But yeah, this is definitely this may or may not be my first time showing you my bedroom, which is actually my dialysis room. I'm lucky enough to have a ensuite, as you can see, which is really helpful in preparing for my dialysis setup. As you can see, I'm on peritoneal dialysis, so my catheter is on my stomach. And you can also see in the background there my massive shelf of supplies, particularly my consumables. So you can see like the shower kits and potentially some of the extension tubes there as well. So yeah, I think what I really wanted to chat about today is just kind of how I'm feeling and kind of just like this really casual video about some of the emotions that I've had today, as I think they're quite typical of what it's like to be a young person who's on PD, who's working a professional job, I suppose. So for those who don't know, I work for a Big Four accountancy firm as an auditor on their audit graduate scheme. So I'm in the middle of the graduate scheme. I'm still a accountancy trainee, which is pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie. Today I had like a day off and I knew that the next 3 days I would be going on to some training. The previous training I've ever done with this company has always been online, especially during the pandemic. Turns out that this training is in London. I kind of overlooked the fact that I think the world is definitely opening up, and as someone with, you know, dialysis, although I may not be completely immunosuppressed, I still feel quite wary about leaving the house and take a lot of precautions with COVID and things. I think it never really crossed my mind that this training would be in person and actually just so far afield. For context, I actually live about 2 hours away from the training centre that I'm going to. So I think maybe best to kind of break down what some of those like crisis thoughts I thought about today. As you can see, I'm a lot calmer now, but you see me like 6 hours ago, the anxiety was like overwhelming. It kept coming in waves, and hopefully not to trigger myself again, I thought I would kind of list off some of the things that I was thinking about. So the first thing that actually came to mind was like the COVID aspect and like the physical aspect of getting to London. So the training centre is in the heart of London. Many regional offices come together and we do like team activities and kind of learn like the company ethos as well, and shifting mindsets as we progress through the company. I had a lot of anxiety about, you know, getting into public transport, going onto trains, so it's like a 45-minute train journey with other rando people, and then actually even worse, going onto a tube, which is like our underground here in the UK. I haven't been on the underground for like 3 to 4 years at this point. I haven't done this kind of level of traveling by myself since before the pandemic, because it's like, oh, what happens if I like faint or something? Like, who's gonna look after me? Or, you know, what happens if I pick up an infection? What happens if I catch COVID? What happens if I get lost? I mean, just general things that even if I didn't have kidney failure, I'd be pretty worried about, like, you know, what happens if I get lost along the way and I'm late to the venue and things like that. So, you know, I got a lot of anxiety around COVID and just like the physicality of it all, like just making it to the destination, let alone getting through a whole day of group activities, independent activities, presentations. So like from 9 a.m. to 5:30. And just for context, I have, since starting dialysis, I have returned to work full time. So I am doing those hours, but I'm doing it remotely from home. The next thing that really bothered me, I think it was more of the social aspect. I had a brief experience of this when I went back to college. As part of my graduate scheme, I actually have to do professional exams, which involves me going to college. But just meeting other young people who are, to me, look completely healthy, are able to eat, drink whatever they want, allowed to, you know, have a very normal life. And then me coming into that kind of environment, having been isolated for like 2 years because of the pandemic, and then obviously being at home a lot because of the dialysis and just kind of being tethered to my machine. It's very overwhelming, that kind of facing these young people, other young people who are so carefree, and I believe they were either my age or a few years younger, but yeah, wow, it was really overwhelming to see. Yeah, I definitely felt distant from them, and that was quite an interesting experience. So having had that experience, knowing that I'll be once again going into London, and meeting all of these other young professionals from different regional offices, really start to raise my social anxiety. I've definitely found, ever since starting dialysis, I've been very self-conscious about the fact of how different I am, and particularly around these restrictions in terms of socializing and potentially what a typical young person can do, you know, maybe like drinking alcohol, eating certain foods, junk foods, and even just having a certain carefreeness about how you live the day-to-day life sort of thing. You know, after the physicality, after the COVID, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet a ton of new young people. I want to make a good impression. I want to appear young myself. But you know, I'm on fluid restriction, I'm on certain dietary requirements, I've got to be careful about my energy management. Like, am I going to wear a face mask or not? And the next thing that I was kind of really worried about was kind of professionally as well. Like, this would be my first kind of very intense training, kind of professional training session. You want to do well, you want to give a good impression, you want to participate, you want to put your best person forward, you know, you want to show yourself like you're a good employee. And I don't know, maybe it's like a bit of imposter syndrome that I'm feeling, or just a lack of self-confidence because I haven't been in that situation in a very long time now. But yeah, it's just like the idea of doing a presentation, the idea of doing like some deep critical thinking, again, overwhelming sense of anxiety. I'm sure, you know, once I'm set a task, I can kind of clear my mind and just do it. But, you know, the thought of doing it is so scary to me at the moment. It's definitely on my mind, that I might be a bit rusty in terms of my kind of professional skills, especially my soft skills have been isolating for so long. So yeah, that's definitely on my mind, and definitely contributed to the anxiety that I felt earlier today. Kind of the last really big thing that was on my mind, which is, it seems so ridiculous, but you know, it is something that I think about like almost every time I leave the house, of like, what am I gonna wear? So like, because of the catheter, it's like a tube, right? And it just sticks out. It's not like a smooth bump. It's like it's a bit like lumpy, and like you can tell there's something there. It's almost like as if I was wearing like a massive belt underneath my jumper or something. And yeah, that's just something that I definitely worried about. And what am I gonna wear? I haven't gone to the office in so long. Now I'm going to like this big event where I potentially have to wear professional clothes, and I'm not even sure if any of my professional workwear still fits me. And if it does fit me, I mean, I was quite slender before I had renal failure, but by then it was kind of a more fitted look was something that I was going for. So all my clothes are like super fitted, and I have this like massive, like, not massive, but like I have this really sticky outy catheter. My stomach's like descended a bit because of the fluid, And yeah, I just feel like so self-conscious. And I just feel like, yeah, what the hell am I gonna wear? And I've got like 24 hours to find something to wear. And Lord knows that I don't want to be trying on all of these really fitted clothes right the day before and just like ruin my self-confidence. So I found like the biggest looking dress that I've got, the one with the most give, a good M&S number, and I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, I'm really not too sure what to do. Like, I guess I'm just gonna have to rock the whole like slightly catheter sticky out bit, and I'm pretty sure people are polite enough not to like be like, what's on your stomach? But yeah, hopefully I'll be sitting down a lot and no one's going to really be looking at me. I mean, that's what everyone says, right? No one's really looking at you. So yeah, those are kind of all of the things that were really bothering me. I mean, I cycled through all 4, 5 kind of different problems, you know, from the physicality of it, the social aspect of it, the professional side of things. Am I going to be technically competent enough? Am I going to, these are the things that I would have thought about even if I wasn't on dialysis. I think I would always be a bit nervous. And then finally, like the visuals of it, like appearing normal, appearing kind of whole and young and youthful, and just, maintaining those energy levels of fitting in as well. And yeah, I mean, logistically, I can tell it's going to be a nightmare, an absolute nightmare, because I have to obviously disconnect, get into London, 2-hour commute, my friends, and then obviously whole day, 5:30, get another 2-hour commute, and then I think I calculated that I more or less have to connect almost straight away. Maybe even have to have dinner whilst I'm on dialysis, if not given dinner at the training centre kind of thing. So that's kind of like insane to me. It's a much tougher push than it was for my lectures, because my lectures were in Reading, which is where my office is based. So yeah, this is a much bigger push for me in terms of time crunch. Thankfully, I did talk to the facilitators and they said that I could leave early, potentially arrive later if need be. So for the first day, I'm going to try and fulfill the requirements of a full day. But if I can't, it will become really obvious by the second day whether or not I can fulfill the same time requirements the second day and the third day. So this is a 3-day training course. So yeah, yeah, this is like a super rambly video, but you know what? It's real life. And I think the reason why I haven't been posting a lot is mainly because I've been so in over my head about, what kind of videos I want to post, how I want to present myself. And to be honest, like, I think it's important to share my daily life, share my story, and I think I will look back on these moments and treasure seeing like the panic, the anxiety that I had for the of like me, like for like tomorrow, like my first big event in London kind of thing. And I hope that for anyone out there who is also like just starting to go back into society, as it were, whilst being on dialysis, whether you're young or old, I think it is such a social anxiety thing. It's like a practical anxiety, like logistically is such a pain. Like packing like medical kits, packing like emergency numbers, letting administration people know. I mean, thankfully, I've literally just gotten over my hang-ups about telling people about being on dialysis, but I know like definitely 6 months ago even, I would not have been comfortable telling people I was on dialysis. Like even like rando administrators and facilitators, I would not have been comfortable at all. So, I've gotten really far in the sense that I'm happy to be like, I literally said, hi there, this is some random person that I don't even know, just messaging them on Teams, being like, hi there, my name's Lai, and I've recently started home dialysis. which is a 9-hour treatment that I have to do every day, and I'm a bit nervous about the next 3 days training course. And I literally said that. No, it's so cringe, and I think it's cringe at least, because I feel like, oh my god, I'm just like releasing this bombshell on this random person. And I just followed up saying like, oh, is there any penalty for like leaving early, arriving late, and just like, would there be any concession for me leaving early if I felt really ill? Because actually the first lady that I spoke to, I kind of think I didn't say it was dialysis. I just said that I had a chronic illness and I needed like treatment every day. She kind of implied that there was a penalty for leaving early and arriving late, and that I should talk to other people, members of staff, just to double check that. And that really like fueled the anxiety, because it was like, oh my god, like, there, you know, I don't want to get punished for, you know, just not attending like the entire session and stuff. And, you know, the penalty normally for these things is like, if you're late, you have to redo the entire course. And I mean, that's just like a cycle of bad news, isn't it? It's like, oh my god, I have to do this again, are you kidding me? But yeah, I'm so thankful that there is a concession. I've talked to different facilitators, and they said that, yeah, if I ever feel too ill, feel too tired, just like, yeah, head home, let them know and head home, and I can pick up some of the work at home and just carry out some of the activities at home. That was a relief, to be honest. That was a big relief. So I think that's another big takeaway. I think, you know, you have to ask, you know, what you don't ask, you don't get. You need to make people aware of your condition, and to try and be as open and honest as you can. And yeah, and just try and get through it. So this is a super long video. It's really late and I'm filming this because I can't sleep, because I'm so nervous and I'm really worried, and you know, I'm trying to, you know, not catastrophize, and just try and do a lot of risk management, you know, try and make a lot of contingency plans. So I hope I can meet some young, chill professionals who are just like there to have a good time and like maybe learn something and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna take it as a positive that I'm going to London over the next few days, and yeah, you know, change of scenery, meet new people, socialize, prove to myself that I am physically strong. You know, I'm 25. I don't want to hold myself back, you know. For anyone who's out there struggling with anxiety, you know, there's all this cycle of avoidance and then more anxiety. Well, this is me facing my anxiety, and I will be going tomorrow and I'm not going to avoid it, and I'm just going to do my best. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful, informational, maybe entertaining. I'm not really sure. So yeah, I'll speak to you soon, and wish me luck. Bye.